So we all talk about the latest AI models, right? There's amazing capabilities. But have you ever stopped to think about the economics driving it all? Like, how does the actual business of AI work? How are these companies making money, and who's really benefiting here? Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, the fascinating economics of AI. We'll look at some surprising shifts, especially with models like GPT-5, and pull back the curtain a bit on the pretty intense battle happening with AI, chips, and infrastructure. We've gone through a whole stack of sources for you, articles, research papers, expert notes, and our mission really is to pull out the key nuggets of knowledge, the insights you need. Think of it as your shortcut to getting genuinely up to speed on where the AI economy is actually heading. Okay, let's get into it. Let's kick off with GPT-5, because there's something here that, well, it might surprise you. A lot of people just assumed, okay, bigger model, more compute power. Simple. But the sources we looked at, they suggest the real story is actually quite different. It's about efficiency, unprecedented efficiency. What's really going on there? How are they pulling that off? And I guess, what does it mean for their business?
Yeah, that's exactly right. The big jump with GPT-5 isn't just raw size this time. It's much more about efficiency, clever routing of queries, and just smarter use of compute. The core innovation seems to be this thing called a writer system.
Hmm.
Basically, it looks at a query and dynamically decides, okay, does this go to a really lightweight, cheap model, or the main powerful one, or maybe even a specialized thinking model for really complex stuff? It's a pretty sophisticated way to, balance the cost against the quality you need for the answer.
Okay, that dynamic routing,
Hmm.
that immediately makes me think monetization. How does a system like that let a company like OpenAI finally start getting value from, say, free users?
Oh, it's potentially huge for their revenue. Think about it. Simple questions, low value stuff that can get pushed to the cheap models, keeps the costs way down. But then you ask the AI for help with, I don't know, shopping comparisons or booking a flight or maybe even drafting some basic legal text.
Right, high-value tasks.
Exactly. Those are high value queries. And those can justify using the more expensive, powerful compute. And crucially, this structure, it opens the door for them to maybe take a cut of the transaction eventually.
A transaction cut, interesting.
Yeah, if the AI helps you book that flight, maybe they get a piece of it. It shifts them from just giving info to enabling commerce.
It really is striking, isn't it? How much the GPT-5 launch talk focused on economics, on efficiency. That felt different from past releases, which were often just about, look how powerful this is.
Oh, definitely. That shift was crystal clear. I mean, they doubled the rate limits for users. They cut token costs significantly. It's like they were shouting, hey, the new game is cost versus performance. It's not just raw power anymore. It's about how efficiently you deliver it.
So sticking with this cost theme,
Yeah.
how does this GPT-5 efficiency focus reflect what's happening, across the wider AI business world, especially when you've got some users on flat subscriptions just burning through huge amounts of compute? And this put a strain on things.
It definitely does. That flat fee model can be tough when usage varies so wildly. We are seeing a pretty clear trend now, companies moving more towards usage-based pricing. It helps align the cost with the actual value or compute consumed.
Makes sense.
But it's a tricky balance because you've got enterprises, big companies, who often still really like the predictability of a flat fee for budgeting. So it's not a simple switch for everyone.
Right. But then there's this other idea that our sources brought up, something called agent monetization.
Mhm.
That sounds, well, fundamentally different, doesn't it? Like a whole new ballgame.
It absolutely could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Our sources, and particularly analyst Kunal Patel, point towards this fascinating prediction. The idea is that OpenAI, and presumably others, will start building direct payment integrations into their AI agents.
So the AI doesn't just tell you about flights, it picks the flight.
Exactly. Or hires the lawyer or buys the product. The agent handles the transaction. And the really big takeaway here, if they can take just a small percentage, a small cut from those transactions, that revenue stream could potentially completely dwarf what they make from basic subscriptions. It's about capturing value right at the point where the action happens.
Wow. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's go down to the foundations, the silicon, the chips. I mean, it's hardly a secret that Nvidia is just dominant in the AI chip market right now. What's behind that? Why are they so far ahead?
Yeah, NVIDIA's lead is pretty commanding. It's not just one thing, it's a combination. They have superior networking tech, which is critical for linking up all these GPUs. Their use of high bandwidth memory, HBM, is a big advantage for AI tasks. Plus, their supply chains are just Well, more robust and mature, they can scale production and innovate faster than most competitors right
In
now.
the software ecosystem too, right?
Yes,
CED.
absolutely. That's a huge piece. They've built this powerful, developer-friendly ecosystem around their hardware with CUDA, making it much easier for AI companies to actually build and run their models on Nvidia chips. It's a strong moat.
A strong moat indeed. But is anyone seriously challenging them? Maybe not head-to-head on general-purpose GPUs, but what about this idea of custom silicon?
That's definitely where we're seeing significant movement. Custom silicon. You've got the big tech players pouring serious resources into developing their own chips internally. Google's got its TPUs, Amazon has Trainium and Inferentia, Meta's heavily invested in its own custom AI chips.
Why are they doing that? Just control.
Control is part of it, but it's mostly about optimization. If you're running AI workloads at the massive scale these companies are, then designing your own chip, tailored exactly for your specific needs, can give you huge advantages in performance and, crucially, cost efficiency. A general-purpose chip, even a great one like Nvidia's, can't be perfectly optimized for everyone's specific workload.
So if AI uses stays concentrated in these giants, custom chips will become more common.
That's the logic, yeah. The more concentrated the usage, the stronger the case for custom silicon becomes.
And speaking of Google and TPUs, our sources mentioned this kind of untapped play for them. What's that about?
Ah, right. Well, it's more of a theoretical scenario, but an interesting one. Right now, Google primarily uses its TPUs internally and offers access through its cloud platform. But what if Google decided to sell TPUs directly externally, like Nvidia sells GPUs?
Compete directly with Nvidia in the hardware market.
Potentially. Given the performance of TPUs for certain AI tasks, if they open them up for direct purchase, some analysts think Google could become a major hardware player, possibly rivaling Nvidia in market value related to AI chips. It highlights, a potential future where the market power could shift. It's a strategic card Google holds, even if they haven't played it yet.
Okay, let's zoom out again. The really big picture economics. We hear these incredible predictions, AI adding trillions to global GDP, doubling developer productivity, just massive value creation potential.
Oh, the potential for value creation is absolutely staggering. There's a broad agreement on that. But then you hit what some call the value capture problem.
Value capture problem, meaning
Meaning that the company is actually creating these incredibly powerful foundation models. Think OpenAI, Anthropic, Cohere, Ions. They generate enormous downstream value for everyone who uses the models. But they themselves struggle to capture a large slice of that value directly.
why is that?
Well, partly it's because the models themselves risk becoming commoditized. As more powerful models emerge, the margins on just providing access to the raw model might get squeezed. It's hard to maintain high margins when your product is essentially information processing.
So if the model makers aren't capturing all that value, where's the money flowing? Who's making bank here?
A huge chunk of it, right now at least, is flowing directly into infrastructure.
The picks and shovels.
Exactly. You've got massive, almost unprecedented capital expenditure from the hyperscalers Amazon, Google, Microsoft buying GPUs and building data centers. You also have infrastructure funds, even sovereign wealth funds, pouring billions into AI infrastructure. This guarantees huge demand for GPUs and related tech in the near term, maybe even beyond what the immediate economic returns justify.
So it's the Nvidias, the data center builders, the cloud providers who are capturing a lot of the value currently.
It certainly looks that way. It really raises that fundamental question, who are the ultimate beneficiaries of this AI boom? Is it the people inventing the intelligence or the people providing the plumbing?
And that question gets even more complex when you look at all the new players trying to get into the chip game. Our sources talk about this wild west of silicon startups, huge amounts of funding going into companies like Etched, Revos, Grok, GraphCore. Some haven't even launched a chip yet. It feels frothy.
It's definitely a very active space, exciting, but also incredibly risky. These startups, they face just enormous challenges going up against an incumbent like Nvidia.
Like what? Beyond just catching up technologically.
Well, they don't have captive customers like Google or Amazon do for their custom chips. They need to convince others to buy their hardware. And they face huge hurdles building the whole ecosystem, the software stack, the developer tools, dealing with complex supply chains. It's not enough to just design a fast chip on paper.
You need the whole package.
Precisely. You need a complete, reliable platform that developers can easily use. That's where NVIDIA's moat is incredibly strong.
Yeah, you mentioned the moat before. How strong are we talking? Is there data on that?
There is. Look at the profit margins. NVIDIA is still reportedly enjoying gross margins around 75% on its AI chips.
75%.
Yeah, compare that to, say, AMD, another major chip player whose overall margins are closer to 50%. That huge difference really illustrates the strength of Nvidia's competitive position right now, and frankly, the incredibly tough climb that any new startup faces trying to take a significant share.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping this up, what a fascinating look under the hood of AI economics. We've seen this shift in monetization, maybe moving beyond simple subscriptions towards dynamic routing and even transaction cuts with these AI agents. We've looked at the chip wars, NVIDIA's dominance, but also the rise of custom silicon from the tech giants, and this whole swarm of startups trying to break in. And this really interesting point about value creation versus value capture AI might create trillions in value, but a lot of that money seems to be flowing into the infrastructure, not necessarily the model creators.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought for you to chew on as you think about all this. Could it be that the real long-term economic power in AI won't just be about having the absolute smartest model, but maybe it lies increasingly in the intelligent routing of compute, getting the right task to the right, most cost-effective processing unit, and, of course, in owning the fundamental infrastructure that powers everything? It makes you wonder how different layers of the AI stack, from chips to models to applications, will evolve to try and capture a bigger piece of that multi-trillion-dollar pie.
That's a great point to ponder, how the value capture might shift over time. We really hope this deep dive gave you some fresh perspectives on the economic engines driving AI forward and maybe some things to watch out for. Thanks for joining us.